Electricity from being discovered in the year 1759 to the building of early power plants in the late 19th century to building the advanced nuclear reactors, we have developed tremendously in the energy production process. But when it comes to transmission, we still use the age-old wires transmission method because we don't have an alternative. Let's say you are stuck in a place and your phone runs out of charge. Also, you are not lucky enough to find a power socket. What will you do? Well, that left up to you, but that would never have happened if you had wireless electricity.
The idea of wireless electricity was first proposed by Sir Nikola Tesla, late 19th century. And he also wanted to build the Wardenclyffe Tower and to produce free electricity to the entire world, which tower also known as Tesla Tower. Worked on a simple principle, it used earth as a gigantic conductor and pumped the electricity into it that could be extracted at any point on the planet. This would have been a great revolution if the tower was constructed. But unfortunately, 4th of July of 1917, the tower was demolished. So the idea just remained on paper. But what if we had wireless electricity? Well, to speak that, let's take a case where we have a power plant and a city which is situated at a certain distance, and the distance I mean they are situated 100 of kilometers apart. And the 100 of kilometers is not just a less distance because we cannot afford to have a power plant near the vicinity to the cities. So they have to be situated far away in the order to avoid any sort of damage to the city. Okay, since we have advanced in our energy production process, now the question arises, how do we transfer them from the power plant to the city? And the most common and conventional situation we have currently is by using the transmission towers through the transmission lines. This is the most common and conventional method and is being used since many years. There are many disadvantages to this because the number of towers needed to cover such a huge distance is high. So when we considered at least 2 towers for a kilometer, we would still need the 200 of them to cover such this distance, and each tower to be built from the ton of steel and aluminium and other raw materials. So just imagine how much raw materials it would take to cover 100-kilometer transmission line. Secondly, it is really tough to maintain such a huge structure, and even small fault could lead to the serious maintenance issues. And also the wires passing through the transmission tower need to have a good amount of protection and coating and good amount of standard conductors inside it, which again very high use of raw materials. So we not avoid all these things. In the order to reduce all these things, we should think an alternative. And when we think of an alternative, the question arises on what could be the alternative to this. And the well possible alternative is that wireless power transmission, and there will be 2 or 3 towers. One can be receiver and other is the transmitter. In this way we can reduce amount of towers and amount of materials. A similar experiment was conducted by the NASA in the year of 1977, which still hold the record of high powered wireless transmission in a long distance. In this experiment, they were able to transfer safely 34,000 watts of power to a long distance, and the distance was almost 1.54 km, and the efficiency was greater than 82%. And what if we had something similar today? The wireless power transmission or wireless energy transmission is a transmission of electrical energy without wires as a physical link. In a wireless electricity transmission system, a transmitter device driven by electric power from a power source generates time-varying electromagnetic field which transmits power across space to a receiver device, which extracts power from the field and supplies it to an electrical load. The technology of wireless power transmission can eliminate the use of wires and batteries, thus increasing the mobility, convenience and safety of an electronic device for all users. Wireless power transfer is useful to power electrical device where interconnecting wires are convenient, hazardous or are not possible. The wireless power transmission technique mainly fall into 2 categories, near field and far field. In near field or non-radiative technique, power is transferred over short distance by magnetic field using inductive coupling between coils of wires. or by electric field by using capacitive coupling between metal electrodes. Inductive coupling is most widely used wireless technology. Its application include charging handheld devices like phones and electric toothbrushes, RFID tags, induction cooking, and wireless charging or continuous wireless power transfer is implantable medical device like artificial cardiac pacemaker or electric vehicles. And in far field or radiative technique, also called power beaming, power is transferred by beams of electromagnetic radiation like microwave or laser beam. This technique can transport energy longer distance but must be aimed at the receiver. Proposed application for the type of solar power satellite and wireless power aircraft, drone, etc. And an important issue associated with all wireless power system is limiting the exposure of people and other living beings to potentially injurious electromagnetic field. That's all.